2, 1.
Welcome to Made for More Living.
One small step for man.
With Johnny Jennings.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
The fastest and most exciting hour of news, events, and real estate in Northern California.
And this is a fact that was proved.
Powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Get ready. Here we go.
Matt Show. On the show today, we have a safety educator. You've probably heard, about Damsels in Defense. Have you heard of that?
Oh,
that
sure, absolutely.
Before?
Yeah.
Not in distress, in defense. They're in control. And so today with us safety educator Lori Osmond.
Yes.
Right? Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show. You recently presented at a real estate team meeting that we had a couple weeks back, and I was blown away. The room was blown away by what it is your company does and how you help not only other real estate agents stay safe, but just, what is it, men, women, and what's your term?
Women, children, and nice men.
And nice men. So you help women, children, and nice men stay safe. So you mind just giving us a quick background on what it is you do and how you help people?
Okay, so we've been around for 13 years. I have been a safety educator for 11. Our corporate's based out of Nampa, so wish I would have found it 13 years ago. And we educate, equip, and empower, like I said, women, children, and nice men. I do home classes. I do self-defense classes with other self-defense instructors. I do real estate safety. We do all kinds of trainings, depending on what people want.
Awesome. And so what's great about you is it's a very easy path to being prepared, as you like to say, be prepared, not scared.
Yeah.
It's a very easy path, and there's just a lot of misinformation, bad information, lack of information out there. Like, for example, you were telling me a story about this older gentleman who you impacted his life. Like, he's not a real estate agent, and he's not a female. You mind sharing that story?
Yeah. So it was probably about 8 years ago, and he was in his 70s, and he was probably about 5'4", and I was presenting to a running club, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, Lori, guess what? I bought a stun gun from you 2 years ago." And guess what? And I said, "What?" And he goes, "It sends off an aura about me, and no one messes with me." And that made my day, because he runs now with his head up. He walks with a purpose, runs with a purpose, and he has some protection just in case.
So when you say stun gun, I'm envisioning like something like a cop would have, like a taser type of a thing. What does it look like?
So that's a taser. This is a stun gun, and ours actually has a disabled pin on it. So if somebody were to pull it from me, they wouldn't be able to use it against me.
So if you're listening, it looks basically like it's the size of pepper spray.
Yeah, a little bit bigger. We have different ones, but this is the main one that I sell. It's the little ringer, and that I use. But it's got a really good punch to it. It's got 18 milliamps, and a police officer's taser has 44 milliamps. So it's enough to drop someone. We teach you to stun and run.
Stun and run. You mind
you want to fire
popping
it
it up a little? Yeah. I can hear that. Can you hear that, Matt?
Sure, absolutely.
That's great. Because here's the thing is that if you are using that thing, things have devolved. Like you're in a rough situation, but that can also be used as a deterrent.
Sure.
Yes, totally.
You can just pop that off and do you have any stories, any examples of where that's helped?
For instance, so if you're walking out and it's dark, maybe you're leaving the office late, and you may not see anybody, but it's dark and you never know. You just push that a couple of times.
Got your flashlight.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can give a warning shot like that.
Yeah, there you go. That's going to scare off anybody that's thinking about doing anything.
But not only people, like you've been on walks, right, before with your dogs?
Yep. And it scared the other dogs away. And actually a bear up at Lake Tahoe, we were camping, and this bear was coming into the campground, and we started yelling and fired this off, and that thing took off really fast.
Nice.
But 99% of bad guys are going to go, "No, thank you. I want an easy target. I don't want that woman that's going to fire that off. That's going to hurt me." Because bad guys, they just look for the easy target, not someone who's going to hurt them.
What powers something like that?
It's rechargeable, and it has a lifetime warranty. So this one that I just fired off is 3/4 charged. I just push that button and it tells me. And you just plug it in. It comes with a car charger and a wall charger. So pretty awesome.
Really, really easy.
And how long do you think it lasts before you need to charge it?
Oh,
I guess it would depend on how much you're using it, right?
Yeah, when I'm at an event, I fire these things off, letting people try them, and for 2 or 3 days, and I don't have to recharge it. I do after that. But
Sure.
if you use the flashlight, like going out to your car at night or out into your yard to let your dog go to the bathroom or whatever you have to do, if you use your flashlight a lot more, then you'll just look at the little thing and charge it.
Oh my gosh, so that thing actually helped me recently. I bought one for Valerie. I don't own one personally. I need to.
Yeah.
But
Dudes in Defense. Is that your new brand?
Dudes in Defense.
Dudes in Defense.
Nice dudes.
Nice dudes in defense. So we were at where were we? We were visiting JJ Mack. JJ Mack's been on the show many times, and we were at his house in Truckee, and I woke up 5 o'clock in the morning to my little 3-year-old just screaming because he didn't know where anybody was, and so he's screaming. He's messed him. He's gone in his diaper. We need to change him. I'm like, where do I put this diaper? I go to the mudroom. JJ's locked their 2 cats in there, so the cats aren't roaming free.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, crap. I can't put the diaper in here with the cats. They might cause a problem, right? So I go to leave, and right before I shut the door, one of the cats escapes into the house.
Oh, man. You're in
and
trouble
I'm like,
now.
oh, my gosh. Now I'm like trying to find this cat. I can't find the cat. And
This is great.
And so then 15, 20 minutes later, JJ comes down because he heard all the noise and stuff. And like, dude, where do you want me to put this diaper? He's like, just throw it in the trash can in the garage. It's a detached garage. Just go outside and throw it in the trash can outside so it doesn't stink up the house. Like, got it. And so I go and I walk out. And so one cat's already in the house. One cat's still in the mudroom. I walk out. I thought I shut the door behind me.
Did you tell him that one of your cats is loose?
I thought I'm not, dude. I don't know where the cat is. He's like, it's fine as long as it's in the house. They're indoor cats. And so I walk up. I throw I'm using your little flashlight on that thing to find the detached garage.
It's a bright light.
It's a great light. And then I'm walking back in, and that stupid cat, the second cat. It was like waiting there at the door. It was looking at me, and then all of a sudden it just bolted. It bolted outside in the snow. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm running around chasing this cat in the snow with your flashlight, but I was able to catch the cat. The cat would have. It was a black cat. It would have been gone if I wasn't.
You zapped it?
I did not zap it.
So it was easy to carry back.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to run away anymore.
He didn't put up
Tell
a
you
fight
that right now.
Yeah, no. Anyways, to put a bow on the story, I got the cat. The flashlight helped, and then later that morning, the cat pissed on my pants.
Oh,
so the
wow.
cat and I continued to battle for the rest of the weekend.
See, if you would have zapped it.
Yeah, it never would have done that. But point being, it's a useful tool to have around the house, whether you're trying to catch cats or deter bad guys. You know? And but I love how it pops. Like when you are doing those presentations live, like in person, all of a sudden everybody kind of sits up straight. They pay attention because. But here's the thing: in order to know to even activate the stun gun, you need to be paying attention. Yeah. Right. You need to see the threat. You need to. So, can you speak a little bit about how you train people on how to identify threats?
So, it's, like you said, the sound of it, everybody listens. I mean, it's the same thing as like a shotgun, right? It's a universal sound. So, you're going to rack your shotgun at home, right?
Yeah.
Many people aren't going to carry that around for protection, but you just fire that off. That's a universal sound, and most people go, no, thank you. If you're uncomfortable, you fire off a warning shot. I teach people to say, back the you-know-what away from me and fire it off. 99% of the guys are going to go the other way. If they come at you, I teach you to grab back on if they grab you. The last thing I teach you to do is go for the belly because they're going to pull it from you. And if they do, I have these other lines of self-defense right here. But I would go for the neck, the underarm, the leg, or up underneath in the private area.
Love it. And what's cool about that thing, too, is if they do try to grab it from you, there's a pin.
Yep.
And so the pin releases, and then
then it's just a flashlight.
Yep.
And the nice thing about that is people with little kids.
Oh, so the guy can't use it on
against you.
Right. It disarms it.
Yeah.
And also your children can't use it. So pepper spray you need to be aware of when you have littles. I have grandchildren, and they can't use this because it's not plugged in until I put the pin in it and it's in my hand.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm walking around. The pepper spray, they could flip and press the actuator, and bam, pepper spray's nasty. And it's a very, very, very good defense tool. It's a very good one. But yeah, I recommend this for moms and dads with littles.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because we have littles. 3 and almost 1.
Oh.
And oh my word, Like they could grab that, they would just be so curious.
Yep.
Next thing you know, it's in his mouth and he's pressing a button, and it's like that would not be a good thing.
So what happens to someone when they are zapped by that?
So it depends.
Is it a taser?
No, tasers shoot out prongs, and that's what law enforcement has, and those are pretty big and bulky. This is electricity and so if somebody were to grab me and I put it on their neck, it's not going to make the sound that you hear because it's going into their body, but it will not come through to me. Okay, and it locks up muscle groups, and I have an awesome video that I can share with you of a guy who got his friend. They were just drunk guys messing around, and his friend stunned him hard enough in the leg, it dropped him for 12 seconds.
Wow.
And he tried to get up, and he's a 230-pound man. Oh, wow. Pretty strong. And tried to get up, fell back down, and then finally was able to get up. So it's kind of nice for us to know, you stun and run. You don't want to stick around.
Yeah.
And with the pepper spray, I say spray and get away.
Yeah. So speaking of pepper spray, that's another tool you have, and there's some cool features to different pepper sprays that you offer. So for example, let's go the one with the noiseless, the Bluetooth.
Okay, so this pepper spray, it also has a disabled pin, and this is our protected pepper. So if this gets pulled from me, no one can use it against me because it will disarm it, and there will be nothing to push it against. This is a button here that I can press, and it will send my 5 pre-programmed contacts my exact location.
Oh, love that.
And yes, and where I'm going every minute to 5 minutes, and it won't stop till I go into the app on my phone. That's free, and I have to say I'm safe now and put in my PIN code. I can also flip the actuator and press it, and that will deploy my pepper spray and press the button at the same time.
Wow.
Well, can you explain this a little bit more? Because I'm very intrigued by that, especially even for seniors.
Yes.
Because my parents are getting older.
Yes.
Explain that feature again with a little bit more detail.
So this has a Bluetooth inside here.
That connects to your phone then,
connects
right?
to the app on the phone. That is no monthly charge. It's free. And you push that down, it'll send those people your exact PIN location.
So in the app, you've set up 5 different contacts that you want to be alert
Kinda
to
like
be sent out.
Kind of like those necklaces, I've fallen and I can't get up type of a thing. Right.
It shows you, but what's cool is a lot of people say, oh, I track my kids. I know where they are. Well, guess what? Or your parents. We don't know when they're in danger.
Yep.
Right.
This is an alarm. And then this one, this is an alert. This has a silent alarm button right there and a really loud alarm if I were to pull this. And that has the same Bluetooth in it. And then we have another one called Silent Signal that is just a silent alarm. So as a realtor, like you are, you could press that silent button if you're feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
So what she's using right now, it looks like a fob on a keychain.
Yeah, and it's got a little light on it too. But that's a silent alarm so that they'll know exactly where you are, and up to 5 people could call you and locate you.
So that signal goes to the app on your phone, and then what does the app on the phone do?
It triggers the 5 people that you've pre-programmed. So I call them your 5 Batmans. They're going to come to your rescue.
Yep.
And we did have a lady use it. I know I told you about that story about the lady who was feeling uncomfortable. She had
Like a car lot or
parking lot.
Yeah.
Number 1 place to be assaulted. Okay, there's 3 most common places: parking lots and garages, stairwells, and public bathrooms. And parking lots, people go, I don't go out at night. Well, it's in the daytime too. So it's not just for going out at night. But she was uncomfortable. She got her 2 kids in the car. She had pushed the button, got in the car, locked it. And by the time she was driving out, her husband and her mom were on the way to her because they could see she needed help and where she was.
Yeah.
So is it calling those contacts?
It's sending a text message to them. And it says, this is my location. I've deployed my pepper spray.
I love that. I'm going to have to
alarm.
give me a couple of those for sure.
Yeah. And here's why I really enjoy them is like coming from like my perspective as a real estate agent. I don't know how many times we use the Life 360 app to
me
track
too.
each other. And I'll know she's at an appointment and my wife's at an appointment. And I'll be like, I just want to check on her. Has she moved a little bit?
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know
Right.
if what's going down.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Right.
and she wouldn't really have time to, hey,
'Cause
Siri,
you're right.
call Johnny,
I'll know. Yeah, I'm the same thing because I have my wife on 360, and if she hasn't moved for quite a while, I'm thinking, did she get into an accident? Is she okay?
Yeah.
and if she won't answer my text or something. So I love that feature, especially for my dad and his wife. My stepmom, she has Parkinson's.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough for her to, move around. And oftentimes my dad's at work. So for her to have something like that would be super important. And even my dad's, he's getting up there. He's had heart attacks, and him driving on the road and having something like that, I think is really super beneficial.
Yes, I agree.
So we've gone over the stun guns, and we've gone over one of the pepper spray options.
Oh, yeah. And then we have the other pepper sprays. This is a simple one, and you should replace your spray every year to 2.
Okay.
This pops right out. You can see the expiration date on the bottom. Pop it right back in. They all have a UV dye that stays
so what
in
does
the
that
body.
do? What's the UV?
Oh, nice.
So if I were to spray someone, okay, and it'll shoot 16 feet. I won't spray you.
Thank you. You're making me nervous. You're
behaving.
I'm a nice man.
I teach people to do a Z pattern across the face, eyes, nose, mouth, get to the side and book it. Because if I spray you and you're running at me, you're still going to try to grab me, but you're not going to be able to see for about 45 minutes. It's very, very potent. And the UV dye will stay on the body for 6 to 8 days. So if the person is able to get away, the cop can put a black light on them and it'll shine the UV dye all over.
When we come back, we're actually going to go a story about how somebody used this pepper spray. Back after this.
Well, the Super Bowl's going to be here before you know it, and as soon as that confetti falls, folks are going to be hopping into their cars, driving around town, looking for their next home. Are you going to be ready for them? There's no need to be nervous or scared, especially when you've got Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty. There's a reason why, guys, they were voted #1 team in Roseville for 3 straight years, why they have over 950 5-star Google reviews. If you want to sell your home, but you don't want to do open houses or staging or do those costly needed repairs, then reach out to Johnny Jennings, because they can get you at least 3 cash offers, 1, 2, 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. All you got to do is Google Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty today and get more for your home.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So we're in the station today talking with Lori Osmond from Damsel in Defense. And we were talking about recently how you have these great programs, or these great tools rather, the stun gun, the pepper spray. But you were sharing a little bit off the air about somebody who had a crazy ex, and this... They were able to use that pepper spray. You mind telling that story?
Yeah, so there was a woman who had a restraining order against an ex, and he would always show up and be gone before the police could get there. Well, one day she marked him with some of our UV dye pepper spray.
Marking meaning she sprayed him with pepper spray.
She sprayed him with pepper spray. Yes, she did. And the cops were able to identify that he had been there, because that dye, like I said, stays on the body for 6 to 8 days and can't be washed off. So they were able to shine the black light on, and there you go.
And they were able to ID him. That's wild.
Yeah.
So another reason. Got a restraining order. Got a crazy stalker.
Yep. There
you go. Buy the dye, or buy the pepper spray. But there's also a story about a teacher, right? Who, she was going about her business. She's been living her life, running no issues for years and years and years, and all of a sudden she meets you, she buys the pepper spray, then what happens?
So she was out for a run, and it was in Lincoln, so not far from here, and with her dog, and a guy came up and kicked her dog, went to grab her. Well, she had the pepper spray in her hand because it was in a little half glove. She sprayed him in the face, kicked him in the nuts, took off running. Cops were called. Cops got him. He was having a difficult time seeing, and it makes it very difficult to breathe. She came back to the scene, and he looks up with his red eyes and says, "There's the blankety blank who did this to me." She went home to her family. We replaced her pepper spray because we stand behind our products, and we have that replacement warranty, and he went to jail.
Wow.
So she wasn't raped, she wasn't murdered, and thank God.
She was probably a little scared,
yeah.
But that's way better than what that guy was probably intending to do.
Yes. And crime scene 2 is where we don't go. If somebody wants to take you to a second location, which is where realtors are to begin with, where they have privacy and control, we do not go to crime scene 2. We fight in the parking lot or wherever it is that we are approached, because it's much better to have something happen there than at a second location because statistics say you're not coming back. And I don't know if I told you, I used to do search and rescue with my dog, and we searched for many people that were never found. And the percentage of people that make it home is extremely low when they get you to a second location.
So if somebody says, hey, come with me, stop struggling, blah, 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 it'll be okay, don't go.
Nope, you fight there, and if you're running in a parking lot from somebody with a firearm, you want to run in a zigzag pattern, you're going to have a much less chance of dying there than you are where they're going to take you.
Got it. Man, that's horrible. But here's the good news is that you do offer a lot of different classes. Like you mentioned some stats just now, but like what are some things that people should be aware of?
So your surroundings. Situational awareness is key. Pay attention to who's around you. Always trust your God-given gift. That is your intuition. And the best book you can read is The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker, and it talks about trusting your gut and how people will test you. You know, a stalker may follow you into a grocery store, and 1 in 12 women are stalked. If he follows you into the grocery store and bumps your cart and you shy away, you make a good victim for him. You look him in the eye and you're like, how's your day going, bud? And you have your stun gun or your pepper spray. He's going to go, no, thank you. I want the easy target.
Right.
Wow.
And they also watch for routines. They watch for you parking in the same location every day at work. You get off at 5 o'clock, it's dark, or 6 o'clock, it's dark, whatever it might be. And they watch for that. A girl getting out of her college class, at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, Thursday nights, the stalker sees that girl walk that same routine. So we need to mix things up. Ponytails are easy to grab, and earbuds make a really good target because you're not going to hear them.
Crazy. But the good news is you offer a lot of different courses for these situations, right?
Yeah, we do home invasion. I do obviously Realtor, where I met you.
Yeah.
College girl presentations. We actually have a class online that you can purchase. It's a 2-hour phenomenal self-defense class for all women, basically. We do vehicle safety, abduction prevention. I mean, you name it. We are teaching about it.
What's really sad is you were sharing that 1 in 5.
1 in 5 women are survivors of rape. 1 in 3 experience domestic violence, and 1 in 6 men are survivors of rape also. And then with children, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before the age of 17, and 93% of the time it's people they know. So we have a whole series of books that teach children how to handle those tricky people, and we have a board game, and we have a parent guide. And those are phenomenal.
At what point, what's age appropriate for handling tricky people?
Well, the books I would say start at like 4 or 5, depending on the maturity of the child. And I always tell the parents to read the book first. There are some for younger, some for up to like 13. And one is on firearm safety. That's fantastic. One is on grooming a neighbor with puppies. Different stories, because stories are what people remember.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your curriculum for helping kids, how do you encourage the kids to be aware and be alert, but not be fearful?
The books do it for us. I mean, they are so well written, and it's not something the parent has to drill in their head because the books do it. So they're done very gently. There's one about a boy that goes into the public restroom for the first time by himself, and a stranger offers assistance. Well, there's heart defenders in the books, and there are 4 total, and one comes out in each book and tells the child how to handle the situation.
I love that.
Very, very good.
So there's I'm blanking on the person, but she was an Olympic gymnast, grew up in it, and there was this famous American Olympic gymnast coach who was like doing horrible things to these girls.
The doctor.
The doctor
did to many, many gymnasts, and my kids were gymnasts too, so we know that.
And so they didn't even know what was happening to them. Nope. They thought, hey, this is normal. This is all. This is, and it was not normal. It was not right. And so now she's a mom. She's an adult. This former Olympic gymnast, and she has processes that she walks through, like, hey, only I'm allowed to, go into the bathroom with you. Only I'm allowed. She has this process. So that sounds very similar to what these books describe. But it just blows my mind how, like, I think about women. I think about my wife at open houses. You think about those types of people. But kids, that's a whole nother level of depravity that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, and the stranger danger, we're all taught on that, but it's 7% of the people who do things to you. And secrets are not to be kept. The only secrets I say is if mommy got daddy a present for his birthday, that kind of thing. But no adult should ever ask a child or a woman, sad, no man should ask a child or a woman for help. And it breaks my heart because I'm a kind person. I like to help people, but you just don't know what you're getting into.
Yep.
But
that's a really good point. Hey, can you help me with this? No, not.
Yeah, can you help
especially
me
like a
find my
parking
puppy?
garage or help me
That's
find
why
my.
it takes education and teaching.
Oh my gosh.
You got to do that for the kids. But I love what you're doing for women as well, because it's not a situation where you're saying women, there's a lot of dangers out there. Be afraid. Here's something to protect you. It's building confidence in women. That's what I like. You're training women with the tools they have, rightly so, but also just being confident, knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and not being afraid because you have that confidence. You know how to defend yourself.
Exactly. Being prepared, not scared.
Right.
That's the way to
I like
be.
that.
Don't walk around in fear.
Prepared, not scared. Damsel in defense. You guys are also a faith-based company. You do a lot of international outreach.
Yes,
right?
we have rescued over 1,500 girls from human trafficking. And I actually got to go to Cambodia in March of 19 and work with some of the little tiny girls that we've rescued. So we are not just about us here in America. We help people that have these children that have no voice in the countries they're in.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing work.
And speaking to the kids who don't have a voice, so I was recently at an event for another nonprofit that helps get kids out of sex trafficking in I think it was Thailand. And what disturbed me the most, like, yes, what's happening to these kids is horrible. I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but what disturbed me more was how it was culturally accepted. Like, this is what you're going to do, right? And then you shared a story about what's in another culture, moms are a part of it.
So you're born into it. In one of the countries that we're in, and you're born into this, and when you turn 11, 12, 13, your mom is actually the one that holds you down for the first rapist. And it's beyond disgusting and sad, but it's how they're raised. And if she's talking to her 13-year-old girl, well, if you're not going to be willing, it's going to be your younger sister. So the older sister always does. And
so if these kids, so it's one thing for us to sit here and agree that this is wrong. But if you're in a culture where it is not wrong, you don't have an advocate. If your mom, if it's your mom that's holding you down, who's going to be an advocate for kids in those countries?
But what's scary is we may not be like Thailand or Bangkok or some of those areas, but we have our own culture that we have to be wary of, especially with social media and the influences that even, especially young girls, because I have a daughter, she's 5 years old, and I'm already thinking about, oh my gosh, the influences that are out there to behave a certain way or give into certain activities. And so I think what you guys are doing is super critically important, especially kids. Get it started early on.
Yep. Teach them to be empowered, and they're in charge of their own bodies. Like the doctor, when the mom or the dad, the doctor is the only one that can do certain things, with the parents there, right? Not like the gymnast.
Yeah.
And
just
the schools
teaching that.
telling, your kids, you don't have to share this with your mom and dad,
Yeah, that's a challenge. I was a public school teacher, but it was before all that came out.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm not there now.
Crazy time to have kids. But speaking of kids, though, Valor and I had our concealed carry weapons for a number of years. And honestly, we just kind of got tired of carrying them. They were heavy. Where's Valor going to set her purse?
Right.
If we walk into somebody else's house, now that we have little kids, it's like, there's definitely a liability there. What do you say to people who are like, hey, I don't need the stun gun, or pepper spray's not for me, I have a 9mm?
Well, I usually ask them, do you have it on you now? And most of the time they don't. And I explain to them that not everything requires a firearm. That's why our law enforcement has layered protection.
Yeah.
I also know I can't walk out with my gun drawn, right? Out of the mall or in this parking lot here today. I can't walk out with my gun drawn, but I can walk out with this whole setup, my stun gun in my hand, ready to go just in case. And I love that this wouldn't kill someone. If I end up using my firearm or you do, we're going to be in court. We're going to lose our guns, obviously, but we'll be in court, maybe go to jail. and
the expenses
and-
associated with that.
and having insurance for firearms.
Yeah.
Everybody should.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that we have the non-lethal options to go along. And we do have concealed carry purses for those that choose to do that.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that it's just more ready, more available, more of the time than
Yes.
having something shoved into a special pouch in your purse.
Right. And I have a lot of women go, I don't want to carry a gun. And the men want them to. Husbands, I want her to carry a gun.
Yeah.
Well, if she's not comfortable with it, she doesn't want to carry it, why not start with something that's non-lethal that, you can fire off a shot?
Yeah.
You can't fire off a shot of your firearm.
No.
So let's talk just briefly, and maybe you already talked about this and I wasn't listening, but where you can take these. Are you allowed to carry these on college campuses? Are you allowed to bring these like when you're going into an airport? Can you discuss that a little bit
These
about
go
that?
in, the items I have go in your checked luggage. The alarms can go into the courthouse. They can go into, on the airplane, the alarms with the Bluetooth. These would go in your checked luggage. I have had
When these, you mean
the stun gun,
stun
pepper spray,
gun.
Kubaton, check luggage when you're traveling, and overseas is very strict, so you need to check the laws in those places. I present to Sac State sororities and UNR, and I've had actually a mom years ago contact me and said, hey, what do you have for my daughter? She goes to Berkeley, and her neighbor of hers in the dorm was just raped by a boy. And I said I would arm her with a stun gun, pepper spray, a door lock, because we have those, and some other things. And she said, are stun guns legal? And I said, is rape legal?
Oh, that's a really good point.
I would arm my daughter, whether they wanted me to or not. That's just my opinion, because I would save her from being attacked and raped or whatever it might be. So it depends probably on the location of the campus or which campus it is, but
I would argue that you can take those more places than you could take a gun.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So that way you're prepared more often. They're
And
easier. They're on their keychain. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
remember to bring it.
And this is actually on a keychain that you could break away too, so you have quick access. But you said something and I just blanked on it. When you got your CCW, when you and your wife had that,
Yeah.
you were trained to also carry non-lethal items, because if you end up using your firearm and you didn't have other things to
Options,
use
yeah.
and they wouldn't have done it, then you're going to be worse off if you don't
Yeah.
carry non-lethal along with your lethal pepper
Yeah.
spray, whatever it might be.
And a concealed carry owner might say, well, I want something to really put the perpetrator or the criminal down.
Then carry both.
Right. But make your point that these are very effective.
They are very effective. I mean, this Kubaton.
So for people who are listening, what's a Kubaton?
So Kubaton is a martial arts striking tool, and it fits in my hand perfectly. It's got a nice grip and a really sharp point. If I did a sternal rub on someone, I could drop any size dude with this, and I'm 5'2".
I don't even think you would need that to drop a dude.
I know.
Knowing you, Lori.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Lori was given two weapons, a left and a right.
There you go.
She doesn't need anything.
I could make it so they don't reproduce with this
Right.
thing.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so the Kubaton, the pepper spray, and the stun gun.
Yeah, that's what I call my triple threat.
Triple threat. So what if somebody is listening and they're like, man, I just don't want to have all that stuff in my keychain. Like, what is the bare minimum? What's the one thing you recommend they have?
I recommend the stun gun because it works in the wind, in the rain, in the day, and the night. Okay? In the wind, you better be aware when you're using your pepper spray which directions it's going. It's not anything that's going to kill you, but it's nasty.
Yeah.
I personally like my concealed carry purse. I love having my little ringer right in the back. I've got quick access when I need it. It's in my hand. I also have this attached to my purse where I can break it away for quick access, because the last thing I want is for someone to get some of these things and have it in the bottom of their purse, their briefcase, or their backpack. It's going to do you no good to go, hey, mister, can you wait?
Hey, hold please.
Yeah, wait till I get my weapons out to protect myself.
Okay, so bare minimum stun gun.
Yeah.
Got it.
I know somebody's listening right now and wondering how much do these things cost?
So we have stun guns.
Is that person you, Matt? Is that person you?
Me, but I know there's a lot of people wondering because they're interested.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
hey, I need one of these.
So the cool thing is we do have a lifetime warranty on all of our stun guns, and these start. This one is $79. We do have some that are $59. It just depends on what you want. But I love the features with the disable pin, and the battery light indicator, the lifetime warranty, and the charger for the car in their wall. So. $79? Are you kidding me? I think we're worth it.
Save your life.
You
Yeah,
know,
for
and
sure.
Yeah.
Firearms are a little bit more pricey. Pepper sprays range between like $13, and the one with the Bluetooth is $109 because it's got the Bluetooth in there. And then we have a Bluetooth alarm. The silent signal is $79, and then this one is $149.
So a range of options of protection starting at $13 on up.
And we do have these alarms also that anybody can use, and these have a little light on them and a loud alarm, and so these are legal for children too, because you're supposed to be 16 to carry pepper spray or stun gun, but I always say they don't wait till you're 16 to try to assault you.
Right.
So let's arm our children, prepare them.
So wait, what is that again?
So this is a loud alarm. If I were to pull it, it would be a loud alarm because we want to draw attention.
Right.
If somebody, like you teach your children this, you want to repeat loudly what someone's doing also. But to draw attention is what bad guys don't want.
Right.
So this is a very serious topic, but I have a very funny story.
Cool.
Can I share it really quick? This
love
is a
funny.
happy story, and then we're gonna break. But I had a dear friend. His name's Eric. Eric is one of the funniest guys I've ever known, and I grew up with this guy. And he was, man, how old were we? 12, maybe 13. And he and his dad had a great relationship, and they would always kid each other. One time, his dad took him out clothes shopping for like back to school or whatever it was, and Eric's in the changing room, and his dad's banging on the door saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you taking so long? Do the pants fit or don't they? And Eric just started yelling, "Sir, please stop hitting on my changing. Sir, I don't know you." And he's like, "Stop it." And so he went in the changing room, and he's sticking his hands in Eric's pants to see if they fit, right?
Oh.
And he's like, "Sir, please get your hands out of my pants, sir." Like 12,
Oh my God.
Smarty.
I know.
not
And so
smart.
his dad's in law enforcement. And so like his dad's getting all this attention and all this stuff, and it just ended up being a funny moment,
Oh my
and everything
gosh.
worked
That
out.
could have been not a funny moment.
But that's exactly kind of what you're
Yeah.
describing. Hey, sir, like if
Yeah.
it's a not funny situation,
Right.
like just letting people know what's going on.
Yeah.
Bring attention to it and keep everybody aware and safe. So, but anyways, had to throw that story in there because
That's a good one.
It reminded me of Eric and his dad.
I hope there's
So,
no kids listening that are getting some ideas.
Yeah. If you're a kid and you're safe and that's your parent and they're
Right.
don't do that, But
Well, I always said, if you're in the grocery store and your kid's throwing a temper tantrum, just walk away and go, "Does anyone know who his parents
Oh,
is?"
I love that.
Oh, man.
That's true. Actually, that works because I'll leave my kids if they don't usually have those kind of tantrums, but sometimes they'll be stubborn or whatever, and I'll leave, and somebody will come up to them like, whose child are you? And then they get all scared, and then they run up to mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
So they do like those situations. When they know that you're there and you're going to run to them, they're looking for attention, and that's what they want from you. If you don't give them that, then all of a sudden,
We
do you
tried-
know whose child that is?
We tried that recently. With Jack, and we got so far away. Like we were like, I don't know, 150
Oh, wow.
feet away, and we're like barely able to see him anymore. And like people are like freaking out, and he's just still going for it. And
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
Oh my gosh. So-
Having a tantrum?
yeah, and then
Oh.
people knew that it was our kid because they saw us walking away from him. And so like, what are you doing? It was
Yeah,
this
call
huge,
CPS
It was
on
this,
these
it was
people.
yeah. Then we were afraid we weren't going to get the kid back, But anyways, it's been an absolute joy having you on the show, Lori. If
Thank
people want to
you.
reach out to you, what's the best way for them to schedule some of these classes?
They can give me a call. Do you want me to give me the number
or
or website?
yeah, so you can reach out. You can just go to madeformorerealty.com. If you want to reach out to Lori, we can certainly connect you.
Yeah.
And then also, what's the best phone number for you?
Shocking Sweethearts with an S, shockingsweethearts@gmail is my email. And then my website is safetymomma.com. That's SAFETYMOMMA.com. And I have
SafetyMama.com.
And here's the thing too, is that I think it's important that people know, yes, the products obviously they cost money. But having you out to do classes, how much does that cost?
I don't charge for it.
Okay.
And we do need more people to join, too. We have a join kit that's $25, and you get all the business supplies, and then you get to buy anything and everything you want for half price.
Wow.
So that's on a special this month. Because we need more of us. We want to get into 9 more countries and rescue more children from human trafficking. So I would love to have people join, and they can contact me for that.
Perfect. So if you have any questions, you didn't catch all the info, just reach out to madeformorerealty.com. We are happy to connect you with Lori. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thought you'd like to hear a couple success stories from Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty. Darcy and Albert were moving out of state to be closer to their grandkids. They lived in the home for decades and had a lot of deferred maintenance on the property. Johnny Jennings and the Made for More team were able to get their Lincoln home sold as is for thousands of dollars above the appraised value of the home. Best part was they negotiated a long-term rent back, so they were able to make a smooth move across the country into their next home to be near their grandkids. Another example, George needed to sell his dad's home. It was the home George grew up in, and it was important to them. And they wanted someone who would care for it as much as his dad had. Johnny Jennings and his team with Made for More Realty were able to get them the home sold the first week on the market for top dollar. And the best part is the amazing family who bought the home is now making their own memories in their father's house. Hey, no matter what your situation, Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty can help you sell your home. If you're looking to buy a home, they can hold your hand through that entire process. In fact, if you don't want to go through a big process, you don't want to do stagings and open houses and all those costly needed repairs, Johnny Jennings can get you at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. There's a reason why they've been voted #1 team in Roseville for the past 3 years, why they have almost 1,000 5-star Google reviews. You can trust them. We sure do. Reach out. Just Google Johnny Jennings with Made for More Realty and get more for your home.
This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Now, that was great having Lori in the studio. She is just, I love what she's doing, not only for kids locally, but kids internationally.
Yeah, she's got a lot of great confidence, and she's equipping women to be prepared, not be scared, but prepared. I know my wife is going to be all about getting some of that stuff.
And she brought up a good point. How she got into the industry was her kid was going off to college. She gave her a stun gun. The kid wasn't going to use it, and then she heard about a friend having a party, like a training essentially, and she's like, "Hey, let's go to that instead," because she knew that neutral third party, her daughter would be more open to hearing that. So, sometimes you just need to hear information from a different source.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
Whether you're talking about real estate or self-defense. And so, what I wanted to go over briefly, because again, if you're listening to this, I'm not working directly. I may not be working directly with you. I may not be speaking to your direct situation. I'm not profiting from what I'm about to say, because oftentimes people could misconstrue when a real estate agent's giving them advice, thinking, hey, they just want to do that price so they can get a quick sale.
You have some agenda. There's
an agenda there, right? They're like, I'm going to profit off of your situation. And so I want to give people unfiltered, unbiased advice. So that way, if you're thinking about selling your home and maybe how to invest in that home, you're making decisions that are going to really benefit you. Okay?
I like that. I appreciate that.
Because what I oftentimes hear is, hey, Johnny, I heard this week. Johnny, I put $60,000 into this home. I'm not going to get my money back. I'm not going to get my money back, so I need to net this much money. I've heard that, so many times, and the problem is, I get it. That hurts that you opened up your wallet, handed somebody a bunch of money, $60,000 over however long it was, and you're not going to recoup that investment. But that is just because you spent that money doesn't automatically increase your home's value by the amount you spent. It's not a dollar for dollar ratio. And in fact, many things are not a dollar for dollar return on your investment. So the best example, Valerie, this is actually Valerie's idea. Let's say the power steering goes out in your car. You pay to fix the power steering. It costs you $1,200, whatever it is. and then you go to sell the car. Did the value of the car go up by $1,200?
No.
No, because everybody buying a car is going to expect to have a functioning car. If you replace your roof or you fix a leak and it cost you $20,000, did the value of your home go up $20,000?
No. So what you're saying is that there's an expected value of your property, and because of the repairs that are needed, it's not meeting that expected value. So oftentimes you have to do those repairs just to meet that level of expectation for the home. Like obviously the value of your home is based on a roof without any holes or leaks.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
It's based on having, power that works and
functioning AC.
Plumbing. Right.
So
if you have to do those repairs, you're not increasing the value of the home. You're just meeting it to that level of what's expected by buyers. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I know that's hard to hear, especially if you spent the money.
Right.
The most painful one though, my heart breaks for people when I hear this is when they say, "Hey, I bought solar for $40,000. I own it." Right. So now my home's value has gone up by $40,000, maybe even $60,000 because they don't have a utility bill.
Yeah.
That's not how the math works.
Right.
You just prepaid the utility bill. It's not a dollar for dollar return on that. Like that's a long-term investment that's designed to lower your utility bill. So over time, you make more money. Or you save more money because you're not paying the utility company. So
that's probably a conversation that you should have with your realtor, obviously, before you start investing in these repairs.
Yep.
But also have that conversation, and realtors should be having that conversation of, hey, there's a certain expectation that your home is going to be in this type of condition based on that value. This value is based on your home being in this type of condition. Yeah. So just because you got the roof repaired or replaced, that was already buyers are expecting that.
Yep.
That's a given. So you are just making the home in the condition that it needed to be to equal the value. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you are looking at making changes, like one of the things that we can do when we come and we meet with you in person, if you're thinking about putting your home on the market, is we'll give you a list of things that are going to 3x your
love
money.
That.
So if you spend $1, you can expect to get 3x.
So can you explain some of those?
Yeah. So And some of these things, they're the simplest things to do. Like I'm not talking about renovating a kitchen. Like kitchen renovations, yes, if you have a kitchen that looks like a time capsule from 1973, yes, if you remodel the kitchen, it'll improve the value of the home. You're going to be money ahead. But most houses only have one kitchen. And so you're going to be without a kitchen. You're going to be eating out. It's a huge inconvenience. Okay, so these are easy things. Here are some easy things that you can do. One thing, clean the house, right? Like imagine you're selling a car and it has all the kids' crumbs and it smells like milk and it has dirt all over it. Would you just, put it on Craigslist, take pictures of it as is, or would you clean the car, pay a couple $100 to get it detailed and then sell it?
Yeah.
Right.
And that includes decluttering, right?
Yeah, decluttering. A lot of people are like, hey, you know what? I know I have a lot of stuff in here, but I'll pack it up when we're moving and when the house is sold. It's like, hey, you are moving. That's the plan, right? So let's start packing now. Let's get rid of the non-essentials now. You don't need all the family photos.
Right.
You're going to take those with you, right? Yes, absolutely. Okay, well then let's start packing those.
You don't need all the summer clothes yet.
The summer clothes, the knickknacks.
Right.
Your kid doesn't need all of their toys. Let's keep their favorites and start packing the rest because you're going to have to pack them eventually.
Yeah.
So
and that's simple. Cleaning and decluttering, organizing.
Yep, deep cleaning. And then the other thing you can do, an easy fix would be to put either a fresh coat of paint or just touch up the front door.
Okay.
Right? So, because think about probably one of the first things that person is going to encounter is that front door. So doing that, you can also do painting or even touch up painting inside the house. Because you get a 2-for-1 on that in the sense that not only does it look fresher and brighter, but it also has that paint smell. So
people like that, huh?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Same thing with carpet. If you're replacing the flooring, it's relatively inexpensive. Like if your carpet has stains or you have pets, oftentimes if you just throw new carpet in there, the house feels newer. And because carpet smells like it has a pleasant new aroma to it.
So these are things that are relatively affordable and are going to make an impact
Yep.
on at least first impressions from the buyers.
Yep. And then another thing you can do, and this will be the last of the ideas, because it's more specific to your situation too when we show up.
Yeah.
But getting a home inspection done. Like a home inspection might cost you.
Because that's not improving the house, though.
It's not, but at least it's giving you an idea of where to focus your energy. Okay, because if there are things that are broken or systems that are not working that you're not aware of, that a buyer will become aware of when they do their home inspection, and they're going to expect those to be fixed or repaired, then all of a sudden you can do that. Oftentimes, like people doing a home inspection, it saves them. Like let's say worst case scenario, then home inspection, home pest, roof, sewer lateral, all this stuff costs you $1,000. We actually have financing options with Made for More that can help you with that if you don't have the cash to do it up front. But what we can do is by getting those inspections up front, you now know exactly what a buyer is going to say when they are looking at your property, when they have the inspections done. So it can save you anywhere between $3,000 and $20,000 just by having those inspections up front and negotiating all that up front with the buyer. So that way you're not in escrow. You don't feel pressured to accept their counteroffers.
So if it's a critical issue, you address it. See if you can afford to fix it. If not, at least you're aware of it and you can present that to the buyer so it's not a surprise. Because if it's a surprise, it's at your disadvantage.
Yep.
You know, they've caught you off guard. Now they've got leverage. And whereas if you already knew about that, you can openly address that and discuss that.
Here's another great one. So,
like how much is it going to cost you to fix it? Then you...
Yeah, and you can oftentimes save more by fixing it outside of escrow rather than fixing it in escrow because you're not in a time crunch. Contractors aren't having to pull their workers off of other jobs to get it done quick. Like they can build it into their workflow. Recently, we're working with this person right now. They knew they had issues with the roof. They said, hey, do you have any good roof contractors? Yes, we sent them out there, and it was going to cost, I don't know, I think it was $22,000 to repair the roof. And they're like, man, we just don't have that. They're like Dave Ramsey types where they want to cash flow
Beans and
everything.
rice.
Beans and rice and beans. We're paying cash for everything. They're like, are there any other options? I said, there is. And I referred them to a company. What this company does is for $2,000, they were able to spray this material on the roof, and it gives them a roof cert for 5 years. So this material is good. It extends the life of the roof
Wow, that's
by
interesting.
5 years.
There you go.
Most lenders only need a roof cert that's good for 2 years. So it's more than double what they needed, but it costs them 1/10 of what it would cost for the roof. So right there, just by having us out and engaging with us before they put their home on the market, before they were ready to go, we were able to help save them, $20,000.
Yeah, crazy.
So if you're curious and you want to learn more about how you can save money when getting your house ready, just reach out to madeformorerealty.com. You just Google us, madeformorerealty.com.
One more reminder, if you're eager to sell your home this year, but you want a simple, easy process, you don't want to do staging or open houses or all those costly needed repairs, just reach out to Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty. They guarantee at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. You expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and his team at Made for More Realty. Just Google Johnny Jennings and Made for More Realty today and get more for your home.